guys, I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to look at and do a comparison of the price, because I hear a lot of talk about buying your legumes, your beans, your lentils, your chickpeas, that sort of thing, buying them in bulk dried versus grabbing them off a shelf in cans from the supermarket. So these sort of things, your red kidney beans, your lentils, cannellini beans. It was a hard one to figure out how to do this because the prices of them vary a lot throughout the supermarkets, but also throughout the products. At my local bin-in, the prices of each product vary actually quite a lot, and so I decided the best way was to pick one product, go with that and explain exactly how I worked out the cost comparison. And then if you want to go and do your own cost comparison with other products, then you can go for it. I've chosen to do chickpeas, so I just went to my local bin-in to do the canned comparison price. I had a look on the websites of both my local Countdown and Pack and Save. Now, Pack and Save are quite often the cheapest with a lot of things, but when it comes to things like that, Countdown are actually cheaper. So the cheapest chickpeas that I could find at my local Pack and Save were $2.19 for one of those 400 gram cans. However, but Pack and Save had their Woolworths home brand cans for $1.70 a can. First of all, the canned ones. Now, of course, they come in water or in brine, so you've got to take that into account. Usually about 60 to 65% of what's in that can is the actual product. Now, chickpeas, generally in a can you get 250 grams worth of chickpeas. So that would be $1.70 for 250 grams of course, pre-soaked, pre-cooked chickpeas, which if you break that down, that comes to 68 cents per 100 grams. So that's our base that we've got to go by. Now at bin-in, they had chickpeas for $9.50 a kilo, which of course is 95 cents per 100 grams. So 95 cents per 68 cents, of course, so far canned is winning. However, bear with, because of course these, they are not soaked, they're not cooked. I got 1 cup of dried chickpeas and I soaked them. I just in cold water, and I soaked them for a good 12 hours. Now so of course this requires patience, and this is why if you're doing something like this, you'd do it in bulk. You'd do more than just a cup at a time, and you can always freeze it in portions for later on. I soaked this 1 cup of chickpeas, came back to them in the morning, and I then put them into a pot with some boiling water, and I cooked them for about 45 minutes, I believe it was. Now, of course, you've got to take that into account as well. You're paying for the electricity to cook them. Just so you know, an average stovetop costs about 50 cents per hour to run. So, but having said that, if you're doing it in a bigger quantity, it's not going to cost more than that. So I'd recommend starting off with water that's been boiled in the jug, because it's actually cheaper boiling water in the jug than on your stovetop. However, once you got that water boiling, you just keep it boiling for 40 minutes or so. You can do a giant pot, you can do a smaller amount. Of course, it's going to cost less per amount if you're going to do a big pot of it. So that's just something to bear in mind when you're doing your own little calculations. Now, after I had soaked and boiled these chickpeas, that is the exact same amount. That is the 1 cup of chickpeas that I had. There's quite a size difference. This 1 cup, which was 182 grams, actually becomes almost 3 cups. It's about 2 3/4 cups worth, and it weighs 435 grams. If you break that down, that would be $1.24 for 435 grams. If you break it down per 100 gram to do the comparison, it comes to 28 cents per 100 grams, which is less than half the price of buying it in a can. Of course, if you add power on top of that, that's going to make the canned stuff cheaper if you're only cooking it 1 cup at a time, which is why, as I say, you do a big quantity. I often freeze stuff in little margarine tubs. Especially if we've got dinner leftovers or something, I always keep these and I use them to freeze things and they're so handy. But just put them in margarine tubs, pop them in the freezer, take them out when you need them. I thought that was interesting. Hopefully provided a bit of inspiration. Do a bit of experimenting. I'll put a link to my hummus video down below because everyone should know how to make hummus. It's super easy, super yummy. Do it. Have a good week, guys. Stay awesome and we'll catch you next week. Bye.